Hello, 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 beautiful people. I am so excited to be back with you again. It's Gwendolyn here from your virtual admin expert, and welcome to Leading Behind the Scene, your weekly dose of inspiration to equip you to excel in business and life. So, before we
Hey,
jump into the episode, I just want to share with you about the Genius Zone. If you have been in business less than 5 years and you are desperately seeking accountability and community, or if you have been praying for tips on how to create workflows and systems in your business, tools and strategies on how to actually stop doing everything yourself, accountability to keep you from being stuck, or you just want to be amongst a group of like-minded individuals that are also navigating this entrepreneurial journey, then come on over to the Genius Zone. It was created for people just like you. So I encourage you to go to the genius-zone.com and check it out. I personally lead this group of amazing entrepreneurs where we have a private community off of Facebook. We do monthly live Q&A calls. We have live co-working sessions, and we have live masterclasses every single month. We support each other through idea sharing, encouragement, resources, and we have a ton of fun doing it. So, you know, you need to put some fire under your butt. Come on over and join us, okay? Thegenius-zone.com. All right. So, this month, we are still talking about the F word. Get your minds out the gutter. Once again, I'm going to tell y'all that every week, okay? Because I'm talking about finances, not the other F word that y'all be thinking about, okay? So, as entrepreneurs, we have to be paying attention to the coins coming in and out of our business, and we need to be looking at those monthly reports and using them to better make business decisions. And so I am excited to be talking to my girl, Miss Kesha Stowe, today, who is a part of my tribe.
hey y'all.
Yes. And if you've been listening to me for a while, or if you have been following me, or we are friends on Facebook or whatever, then you know Kesha is like my boo. Because you real friends when you start letting people into your money, right? Like Kesha got the access to bank accounts and all that good stuff. So, we friends, y'all. Okay. This ain't no plaything right here. So Kesha is amazing, y'all. She is a mother. She is a friend, a sister, a daughter. She is an army officer. She's an entrepreneur. Kesha is like all the things, okay? And she helps small business owners understand government contracting and financial management as part of their business development and growth strategy. She grew up in the inner city of Los Angeles, where she saw poverty daily, and with that in mind, she set out to explore the world to overcome poverty and help others do the same. And we are so glad that she did. In addition to all of that, she educates small businesses on government contracting. She educates small business owners and individuals in financial management through her brand, Manifest Your Money. She uses the same financial management concepts applied in the corporate world to teach households financial literacy. She's even teaching the kids now, y'all. Don't you just gotta love her? I'm just saying. And with skills of being a certified financial manager over the last 15 years, working in government agencies and nonprofits, I'm telling y'all want to get your notepads and your little pens, and you want to be taking notes because you want to soak up all the gems that Kesha's about to drop. Okay. So she gonna teach us not only how to secure the bag, but to keep the bag and grow the bag. That's why I love
Yes.
her, because that's exactly what she does. So, Kesha,
Yes, ma'am.
where did you get, like, when did this whole thing about money become like a thing for you? Like, I want to hear the backstory.
So growing up, right, in the inner city of Los Angeles. Now, I remember the food stamps. Back then we ain't had no EBT. We had the coupon booklets. And we used to tear them little booklet, them coupons out of them booklets, and I was using them for. We used to call it the donut man because it was a truck that would come through the neighborhood and sell you day old donuts for 25 cents, and you can use your food stamps for that, the ice cream truck, the corner store. And so, but then there were times when I wanted things and we just couldn't afford it, right?
Yeah.
So I set out on this journey. I was like, look, I don't want to be in this place, right? And I felt like being in that environment, I was trapped. Mentally, I
Mm.
felt trapped, even though I was not trapped physically. And so my senior year in high school, I was like, look, I got to get out of here. So I started applying for colleges, but I didn't apply for any colleges out of the state of California. So all the schools I applied to were within the state because I had waited so long. And so I was like, when I got accepted, I was like, I don't want to stay in California. So what was my next best move to get out of the state and explore the world and earn a paycheck? I joined here.
Wow.
My family was like, you we ain't never heard you say nothing about no military. I was like, I'm joining. Now, mind
Wow.
y'all, when I joined, I was 17 years old. And so it was like months before graduation, I had made this decision. I'm joining the military. My family did not take me serious because they were like, we've never heard this girl talk about the military. So how did this all of a sudden pop up? But I did not want to live in an environment of poverty. So I was like, it got to be more to life than this right here. And I'm gonna join the military. They're gonna make sure I got a roof over my head. They're gonna make sure I'm fed. They're gonna teach me some skills, and I'm gonna get a paycheck every 2 weeks. That sounds like a move I want to make. And I'm gonna be able to travel the world for free. I'm making that move. So I joined the military. And when I joined the military as a finance specialist at the time. So being in that position taught me how to actually read my leaving earnings statement, understand the taxes and deductions and all of these things that I now was paying for, right? So needless to say, I had a steady paycheck coming in. So I was like, oh, it's credit card time. I had at one time, Gwen, I ain't gonna lie, I had to have between 10 and 15 credit cards, from store cards to multiple large credit cards from Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and they were all maxed out. I was like, look, I'm not trying to live this lifestyle. And I remember calling home to my grandmother and telling my grandmother, now, in the meantime, I'm doing all this foolishness, but I'm walking. I didn't have a car at the time. And I called my grandmother, and I remember going to school, because then I started going to school part-time while I was in the military full-time. And I was catching rides to school. And I was stationed in Maryland at Fort Meade. And so it was snowing one day. Y'all, I'm from California. I don't do snow. So this is my first season in the snow. And I decided I was going to go to school, right? So now I'm catching rides in the snow. I found myself one time not being able to get a ride home. And I was stuck at school. And I started walking in the snow. I was crying, and by the time, now, I was a crybaby, y'all. Mind you, though, I'm only 18 years old. So I got to my dorm room, my barracks room, rather, and I called my grandmother, and I was like, look, I'm not going back to school. If I don't have a car, I'm not going back to school. I just can't do it. And was, okay. And my grandmother is like one of my biggest cheerleaders. So she was like, okay, you make arrangements to come home. We'll get you a car, but you have to pay the note. So I went home to California. She put a huge down payment on my car so that we can get my car note to where it was manageable for me. And then I drove my car from California back to Maryland. And so
girl,
that started my.
Is that where your drive across the state started? Keisha drive across the state, couple states in a minute, like she going around the block.
And so now that you say that, that's where it had to begin. Because that was my first trip, like seriously.
Wow.
And so from that moment on, I was like, okay, I got to pay my car note, right? So I got to reel back some things. I got to be able to handle my finances a little bit differently because now I have my car note to pay for. I have my insurance I have to pay for. So yeah, that's where it began. So I started getting, all of these credit cards that had spun out of control, because by that time, moment in time, it was just me. So I didn't have any children. There were no husband. There were none of that stuff. So I figured, yeah, you need to get a grip on this, girlfriend. So that's where it began.
So first of all, this is amazing because at 18 years old, just to have that discipline, right? And that forethought of, I want my life to look different. I am now responsible for something, because I don't think at 18, at least for me, I don't know if I was really thinking about being responsible for anything. So that's a testament right there. That's why Keisha is like the little big sister, y'all. Like, she ain't but like 5 feet, but she always telling us what to do. So I'm just saying. So why do you think entrepreneurs in particular are afraid to look at the numbers? Why do you think they're so afraid? Because you had to take a stand and just like be like, okay, let me lay it all on the table and see what I'm dealing with and how I'm going to get these credit cards down, still pay this note, pay this insurance. Why are people afraid to look at the numbers?
I think it is something that they do in their personal lives, right? We don't want to look at the numbers in our personal lives and our personal finances.
True.
So I think it just bleeds over. Not I think I know it just bleeds over from our personal lives to our business lives, right?
Mm,
Those same habits we make our businesses. We are our businesses oftentimes when we're starting off. So everything that you bring, all your skills, abilities, strengths, and weaknesses are also what you bring to your business. So we don't like looking at our finances from a personal perspective, right? So we dang on show ain't gonna just like magic look at our finances from an entrepreneurial perspective. So I think it just is a little bit of transference or carryover, I should say.
so how do we build, I guess, better habits so that we're not afraid to look at the numbers? Like,
Mm,
even in our personal lives, like what are some things we can do to overcome that fear? Because
um,
you got to look at the numbers, because if you don't, I think that's where it really starts to spiral out of control and you get into spending more than what you have, because you think you got one thing. And I'm just thinking back in the day, like, they gave you a checkbook for a reason, right?
mhm.
But up here doing the math in my head, like, oh yeah, but then it's that one thing you forget, and now the whole account is off track, and you like, oh, now they done charged me all these fees. I forgot this was coming in, and now that done came in before this came in, and it done threw everything up. Ma'am,
Yes.
teach us.
So one thing that I tell clients is um, don't think of your finances as the adversary, right? Your finances are a
Mm,
money is a tool to help you
that's good.
further your purpose in God. So money is a tool.
That's good.
So it's supposed to provide you with some be of usefulness to you, right? Um, I think oftentimes we look at our finances as the enemy. So because it's the enemy, we think it's coming to get us, or it just does not like us, or we're forever going to be in this state, right? We're going to be in this rat race of life when it's not true. Your biggest cheerleader is God.
Mm,
When God is your biggest
that's
cheerleader,
good.
you can't do nothing but win. So
That's
it's a
good.
mindset. Money is a tool, it is a resource for you. It is there to help you. So you have to look at the numbers. No matter how much you don't want to, you have to look at the numbers. And so when you look at the numbers, don't look at them from a space or a perspective of, dang, I cannot. Look at them from a space or perspective of, okay, what am I seeing? What am I actually seeing? What do I want to do in the
Mm,
next 3 months? What do I want to do in the next 6 months? Okay, by looking at these numbers, can I do it? And if I cannot, why?
mm.
And is it possible to even get there from here? And if so, what options are you going to lay out now? It does take work, right? It takes work to manage our finances. You don't just walk up on becoming wealthy. That's just not how that works. So it
Okay.
takes some work on our behalf, and you have to be willing to work towards it, just little by little, just little steps. That will help you get to the point of not seeing your finances as the adversary, but a foe, but a friend.
I like that. I like that. So money is a tool.
Mhm.
Don't look at it or think of it as the enemy. What else? That's good.
Money is a tool. Don't look at it or think of it as the enemy. And yeah, those are the good two right there.
Those are good too. Okay. And I'm gonna add one third one, which is still similar to what you said, like the first one. But I think one of the things that was eye opening for me too was in that looking at money as a resource, like you mentioned. Think of it as energy, right? Because like money is energy. It was designed to flow, right?
Yes.
This was a huge eye opener for me when I really started to dig into this. It was like, okay, money was designed to flow. So if I'm constantly trying to hold on to it, it can't do what it was naturally designed to do, which is flow. The other thing is if I'm always upset about having to use my money to pay for things, then what I'm saying is I don't want you to flow to me because I'm mad when you come to me. I'm mad that I got to
Mm-hmm.
use you for the very thing that I probably prayed and asked God for, right? So it's like, why are you mad when you have to pay that car note? You asked for a reliable, decent car, right? Why are you upset when you have to pay your mortgage or pay your rent? You prayed for a safe, stable place to live or a roof over your head, right? And you have that. So one of the things I started doing was, girl, when we were renting at one time, I was putting like little hearts and smiley faces on the envelopes when we were paying, when we were writing the check. And then people was like, "Are you crazy? What is?" So they would be like, "Bishop, why are you sending these envelopes over here with these smiley faces on here?" And I'm like, honey, because I'm grateful, right? Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful that for another 30 days, I got somewhere to lay my head that's safe, right? I
Come
don't take that for granted because there was a time when I was homeless. So, like, let me write all the smiles. Like, I'm great. Lord, thank you. I had enough to do that. So even when emergencies happen that I don't expect, it's like, thank you, Lord, that I had enough money to be able to handle and
yes.
manage that emergency, right? And so now it's like, changing that mindset of scarcity and poverty, because it really is a poverty mindset, to one of abundance, where it's like, okay, more money's gonna flow. I may have to get creative and think about like how, right? But the question becomes how and not, man, I don't have enough. Like I'm so super clear about language. I That's one of the things now my husband will catch himself because he'll be like, I'm broke. And I'll be like, you what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
have enough funds right now. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Like
I'm gonna need
we
you to
don't
add
do
that
that.
right now on the back of that though.
you that, I'm just saying, like, and even when you're like you said, when you're thinking about what you want to do in terms of your goals, it's like I'll just say, you know what, I'm not prepared to do that right now.
Yes. So you already
I'm not.
in the vein of where I was going.
Girl.
Because see, manifest your money is about that. We have the ability. So the name of my nonprofit is Manifest Inc. But there are two brands: Manifest Your Business and Manifest Your Money. And so Manifest is you have the ability to attract money. You have the ability to attract and manifest the lifestyle that you want, right? Money is not a limited resource to the point where you're never going to have it's like you're going to be broke. There are so many ways to make money and for money to be attracted to you that is ridiculous. For you as an individual, everybody out there looking, there will be an unlimited supply of money,
For
but
real.
you got to
It's
have that mindset that it's going to flow into your lifestyle freely.
Yes, 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 yes. And we're not saying be irresponsible with your money. Let's be clear, okay? Because that Keisha gets you together, okay, with that, with them budgets and them coins. But what we are saying is don't be afraid. Like don't be thinking with that
Lack.
scarcity mindset, like I can't do something because you're afraid that it's never gonna come back around again. So that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
that's super important to remember. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, so when you look at financials from an entrepreneur standpoint, right? Like you've helped all of us. You've helped all of us, personal budgets, business budgets, all that stuff. Like, what are some of the things that we should be looking at or things that we should be using our financial statements to help us do?
Okay, so let's talk about the three main financial statements that most people will want to see. some people may or may not be familiar with. So one, you have your profit and loss statement, which is your income statement, and it's just going to record all of your revenue, the income that you generate for the business, and all of your expenses. And then it's going to tell you bottom line, right? The expenses are going to be subtracted from your revenue. It's going to tell you if you're operating at a loss or if you're operating as a gain. So it'll give you that snapshot. You can do that monthly, you can do that quarterly. I would not recommend doing it any less than quarterly. So that is your profit and loss statement. And then you have your cash flow statement. Your cash flow statement is going to tell you how much cash, liquid cash, you have in the bank, whether it's underneath a mattress, whether it's in 10 bank accounts, spread across 10 bank accounts. It's going to give you a picture of that, because sometimes you need to have cash to bring to the table for certain transactions. So that cash flow statement is going to give you a picture, an idea of how much cash you actually have on hand. And we talk about cash, not credit. Okay. And then the last statement that folks want to see, or organizations and agencies may ask you about, is your balance sheet. Now, your balance sheet is going to give you a idea of what your financial position is as a company, right? It's going to list all of your assets, anything that is an asset to your business. It could be equipment, it's going to be cash, it's going to be if you own a building, it's going to be any land, real estate, all of that is going to be in it. Noted as an asset. And then you're going to have your liabilities. That's all your debt and things that you owe. Okay. So you got your assets and you got your liabilities. Then there's a section called owner's equity or shareholders equity. And that is all of the money that you have given to the business, right? Because you have to record that. You're going to record that because at some point you may want your $50,000 back out of the business, right? That you invested. So the money that you are putting into your business, think of it as an investment. You are investing into your own business. It's not money that you're just giving away to start off. That is a part of your owner's equity. You want to be able to track that and account for that. Okay. And if you have any business partners, that owner's equity will be increased by their investment. Or if you have any shareholders, their money is going to be, that owner's equity section is going to be increased by their investment. So now your assets and your liabilities plus shareholders equity should balance out. The two should be equal the same amount. That's how you know that your books are balanced, right?
Okay.
Because they equal out to the same number, whatever that number is. If the number is off, your books are messed up somewhere. Okay. But that balance sheet is going to give you a snapshot. Again, that can be done monthly, quarterly, but folks, usually you need to have it at least annually. And it's going to give you a snapshot of all your debt and all your assets, right? All of your liabilities, which are your debts, and all of your assets, things that you could sell off and get money for, so to speak.
And this is so important, and I'm glad we're talking about this, because a lot of times I think entrepreneurs, we don't realize when you get to a space like if you're thinking about scaling or growing your business, these reports are going to be super critical. If you want to raise money, if you want to try and get an investor, if you want to get a capital loan, if you want to get a line of credit, like they're going to want to dig into your finances. And these reports are going to basically tell them the financial health of your business, which is going to be super important. So if you're not familiar with these statements, this is your opportunity to really start digging in and getting familiar with them.
Absolutely.
Those are very important. Okay.
You'll see some out there and there.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you'll see some out there and they're really elaborate, right? And they have all this jargon, financial management lingo that you may not be familiar with. It don't need to be that high tech. I mean, your profit and loss statement is simply all the money that you brought into your business. It could be on a spreadsheet and all the expenses that you paid out for the business. And then the bottom out over after that. Okay. And the same thing for your assets and your liabilities, but they should equal, right? That's the catch for that. Those two should equal. So that one takes a little more rigor and finessing. But that one, when you're starting off as a new business, as a small business, it's a little easier to grasp the concept versus you've been in business 10, 15, 20 years, and now you're trying to go back and wrap your mind around all of that. So if you're in a position, you
Yeah.
started off 2, 3, 4 years, now is the time to comprehend all of that and get your books in order.
Get them books in order, y'all. I'm telling you, this is a reason why a lot of small business owners, solopreneurs, all the small people were not able to qualify for these PPP loans and the government grants and things like that because you did not have your paperwork together. And here's the thing, even if you didn't have it together on the front end, and let's say, you were able to conjure up some numbers or whatever, they always reserve the right to come back and ask for paperwork and documentation at any time in the process. So you always want to make sure that your numbers are up. Plus, these reports are going to help you make business decisions, right? It's going to be how you're going to know if you can afford that new laptop, or if you need to hire staff, or like whatever it is that you need to do for your business. These reports are gonna be your guide to show you whether or not you can do it. It'll even be a guide as to to show you if you're actually charging enough for your services. Because if you looking at your profit and loss and you realize that I always got more money going out than I got coming in, maybe you're not charging enough for your services, right? Like you'll start to dig into it and asking questions that you wouldn't typically be asking if you were not looking at the numbers. So it's going to be so important to do that. So
Absolutely.
this has been great conversation. So is there anything that you want to say to the people before we go?
Y'all get them books in order, and don't forget y'all balance sheets, y'all. I mean, y'all budgets. Got to get your budget, even for your business. You got to get your budget. That is like your financial plan, right? Of where you're trying to be, where you see yourself. And the only way to get there is to be able to manage your money. Your budgets help you manage your money. All the financial statements that we talked about, the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, they're going to help you make decisions that concern money, right? Whether to scale back on some things, whether you can branch off and venture out and purchase new equipment or acquire personnel, whatever the case may be. But your budget is going to help you meet your financial goals. Okay, so all of these things are going to work together for your good, y'all.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all see why I love her? Y'all see why she keep all us in our little circle together, boo. Like he should be like, what you doing? Why? What? And I'll be like, sometimes I'll just be like, cause I wanted to. Leave me alone. Ain't got no reason. No, it wasn't in the budget, but I wanted it. But then I will figure out a way on how to make it up, because I'm like, I got to get the coins to pay for this. How I'm gonna do that? So I'm always thinking about that part. Well, Kesha, darling, thank you so much for coming on today, for sharing with us. I totally appreciate you. Beautiful people, thank you for joining us. I would love it if you would hit the like button, share with anybody that you think needs to hear it, share with all the entrepreneurs, solo business owners. Everybody needs to hear this message. Be sure to leave us a comment. Tell us what your key takeaway was. We love hearing from you. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Your Admin Expert, and subscribe to the email list on the website at yourvirtualadminexpert.com for even more tips, tools, and strategies. Kesha, tell the beautiful people how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on Instagram at manifest_inc, or on Facebook at manifest_inc. Now, if you go to Facebook right now, y'all can just have me all to yourself. In addition to that, if you have any questions on government contracting, please feel free to ask, because it's a lot of money in that too, y'all. So just hit me up, ask for questions, and I'll respond.
And I'll have her come back and talk about that government contracting, y'all, because it's coins up in there. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another segment of Leading Behind the Scenes.